My name is Catarí Gallardo, and in this video we will talk about complex sentences in classic literature. We will be taking examples from the book The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. We will also be focusing on adverbial clauses and their features. Let's get started. The objectives of this video, as I said before, are to learn what complex sentences are, what are adverbial clauses, and the different types of adverbial clauses, what is a subordinate clause and the types of subordinate clauses, what is a subordinator and the types of subordinators, and to analyze 7 sentences with different adverbial clauses taken from the book previously mentioned. First, we need to know, what is a complex sentence? A complex sentence is a sentence with an independent clause and a dependent clause, both of which are joined by a subordinator. Now, before we start, let's answer some other questions. What is a subordinate clause? A subordinate clause, also known as dependent clause, adds extra information to the main clause and cannot exist on its own. There are 3 types of subordinate clauses: noun clause, relative clause, and adverbial clause, which is the one that we are going to be focusing on today. What is an adverbial clause? An adverbial clause is a dependent clause that modifies the main verb in the dependent clause. There are 10 types of adverbial clauses: adverbial clause of time, adverbial clause of place, adverbial clause of manner, adverbial clause of reason, adverbial clause of result, adverbial clause of comparison, adverbial clause of contrast, adverbial clause of concession, adverbial clause of purpose, and adverbial clause of condition. And lastly, what is a subordinator? A subordinator is a word that introduces subordinate or dependent clauses. There are 3 types of subordinators: subordinating conjunction, relative adverbs, and relative pronouns. Now, let's analyze some sentences extracted from the book. This sentence was extracted from page number 20, and this would help me to understand why constructing artificial flowers or performing on a treadmill is work, while rolling 10 pins or climbing Mont Blanc is only amusement. The subordinate clause in this sentence is an adverbial clause of contrast, because it describes something that contrasts with the idea expressed in the main clause. And the subordinator is while, which is a subordinating conjunction. In terms of punctuation, we can see that a comma is placed before the subordinate clause, and this is to indicate a contrast between the main clause and the adverbial clause. This sentence was extracted from page number 42. He said he meant to look to it that Tom should be admitted to the National Military Academy and afterward trained in the best law school in the country, in order that he might be ready for either career or both. The subordinate clause in this sentence is an adverbial clause of purpose, because it expresses the intention behind the actions expressed in the main clause. And the subordinator is in order that, which is a subordinating conjunction. In terms of punctuation, even though the comma is not needed when the subordinate clause is not introduced in the sentence, a comma was added after the main clause to add extra and non-essential information. This sentence was extracted from page 56. The master's arm performed until it was tired and the stock of switches notably diminished. The subordinate clause in this sentence is an adverbial clause of time, because it expresses the time when something happened. And the subordinator is until, which is a subordinating conjunction. This sentence was taken from page number 93. Don't ask for it unless you want it, Peter. The subordinate clause in this sentence is an adverbial clause of condition, and it follows the structure of zero conditional, which expresses general truth. And how can we know this? We know this by looking at the tense structure, which in this case is simple present and simple present. The subordinator in this sentence is unless, which is a subordinating conjunction. This sentence was taken from page 112. He was such a comfort to me, although he tormented my old heart out of me most. The subordinate clause in this sentence is an adverbial clause of concession because it expresses an idea that suggests the opposite of the main clause of the sentence. And the subordinator is although, which is a subordinating conjunction. In terms of punctuation, a comma is placed before the subordinate clause to indicate a contrast between the main clause and the adverbial clause. This sentence was taken from page 116. I ain't any more baby than you are. The subordinate clause in this sentence is an adverbial clause of comparison because it expresses how the subject of the dependent clause compares to the subject in the main clause. And the subordinator is then, which is a subordinating conjunction. This sentence was taken from page 139. It was to tell you not to be uneasy about us, because we hadn't got drowned. The subordinate clause in this sentence is an adverbial clause of reason, because it expresses the reason for the action being taken in the main clause. And the subordinator is because, which is a subordinating conjunction. In terms of punctuation, even though the comma is not needed when the subordinate clause is not introduced in the sentence, a comma was added after the main clause to add extra and non-essential information. This is the end of the sentence analysis. And with that, we have reached the end of this video. Thank you for getting to the end of the video. I hope this video could have been helpful and useful for you. I hope that now you know more about complex sentences. This was Catarí Gallardo for Syntactical Analysis. Goodbye.